April 20th, 1999. A day that changed America forever. You're watching Crime Cipher, where we decode the real stories behind the crimes that scarred nations and reshaped history. This case isn't just about what happened that day. It's about why the world never truly recovered. Two teenagers, Eric Harris and Dylan Klebold, walked into Columbine High School in Littleton, Colorado, and unleashed a nightmare that claimed 13 lives, injured 24 others, and seared the word Columbine into our darkest fears. This wasn't just a tragedy, it was a cultural earthquake, a blueprint for chaos that still inspires copycats and fuels a terrifying online subculture. Let's dive into the Columbine High School Massacre, a story so chilling it'll leave you questioning everything. The horror began on a typical Tuesday morning at Columbine High School. Kids laughed in the cafeteria, teachers prepped lessons, and the spring sun shone over Littleton, a quiet Denver suburb. But at 11:10 a.m., everything shattered. Eric Harris, 18, and Dylan Klebold, 17, arrived in separate cars, armed with semi-automatic rifles, pistols, and 99 homemade explosives, including two 20-pound propane bombs planted in the cafeteria. Their plan was apocalyptic: detonate the bombs and gun down survivors, aiming for a body count to dwarf any prior tragedy. The bombs failed, but the carnage that followed was unimaginable. Should schools have seen the warning signs? Drop a if you believe prevention is possible, or a if you think we still aren't doing enough. We read every reply. By 11:19 a.m., the shooting erupted outside. Rachel Scott, 17, was gunned down on the grass. Daniel Rohrbough, 15, fell next. The killers, clad in trench coats, moved with chilling purpose, laughing as they fired. They stormed the cafeteria, spraying bullets as students dove under tables. The library became their deadliest stage. 10 of the 13 victims died there, including teacher Dave Sanders, who bled out after heroically aiding escapes. By noon, Harris and Klebold turned their guns on themselves, ending their 49-minute rampage. But the scars they left would never fade. Who were Eric Harris and Dylan Klebold? To classmates, they were seniors blending into the crowd. Beneath that facade, rage and nihilism festered. Harris, the cold psychopath, was the mastermind. His journals reveal a mind obsessed with destruction, idolizing Hitler and dreaming of a massacre to cement his legacy. He built custom levels for the violent video game Doom, sharing them online, a chilling precursor to his real-world violence. Klebold, depressed and volatile, was swept into Harris's orbit, a follower who channeled pain into violence. Their dynamic was a deadly alchemy, Harris's calculated hatred paired with Klebold's emotional despair. They spent a year plotting, documenting their hatred in diaries and videos dubbed the basement tapes. These tapes, partially released, show the duo swigging Jack Daniels, cradling shotguns, and ranting about revenge against a world they despised. They weren't just outcasts or bullied kids, as early myths claimed. They were calculating killers with no specific targets, despite rumors about jocks or Christians. Their motive? Fame, chaos, a twisted bid to be remembered. They even mocked the media frenzy they knew would follow, predicting their faces on TV screens worldwide. And the scariest part? They were right. If you've made it this far, you know this isn't just a story, it's a mirror. And the reflection gets darker. Stay with us, because what came after Columbine might be even more disturbing. Columbine wasn't just a tragedy, it was a catalyst. Researchers call it the Columbine effect, a horrifying legacy where Harris and Klebold became twisted icons for copycats. Since 1999, over 80 school shootings and plots worldwide have drawn direct inspiration from Columbine. The 2007 Virginia Tech shooter called them martyrs. The 2012 Sandy Hook killer curated a Tumblr shrine to them. Even in 2025, the obsession persists. On TikTok, first-person shooter simulations of Columbine rack up hundreds of thousands of views, while Discord servers glorify the killer's natural selection t-shirts, a phrase Harris scrawled on his shirt during the attack. This isn't a fringe issue. A 2015 CNN investigation uncovered over 40 Columbine-style plots, while ABC News linked 17 attacks and 36 threats to the massacre. The internet has amplified this darkness, turning Harris and Klebold into cult figures for alienated youth. Websites like acolumbinesite.com archive their journals, videos, and autopsy reports, drawing millions of clicks. Forensic psychologist Chris Mohandi warns this obsession normalizes mass murder, shaping vulnerable teens who see Columbine as a script for their rage. Some even recreate the killer's outfits or quote their journals verbatim in manifestos. The physical toll at Columbine was staggering. $50 million in property damage, a library turned into a blood-soaked crime scene. The human cost was immeasurable. Survivors like Anne Marie Hochhalter, paralyzed in the attack, faced lifelong trauma. In 2025, her death from complications was ruled a homicide, raising the death toll to 14. Others, like student Greg Barnes, died by suicide, haunted by what they saw. PTSD still grips teachers, students, and first responders. Families of victims like Tom and Sue Klebold, Dylan's parents, live with unrelenting guilt and scrutiny, with Sue's 2016 memoir revealing the agony of loving a son who became a monster. The nation reeled. Columbine sparked debates on gun control, school safety, and media influence. Schools adopted zero-tolerance policies, metal detectors, and lockdown drills. Yet shootings continued. Virginia Tech, Sandy Hook, Parkland, and more, each echoing Columbine's blueprint. The slow police response, where victims bled out waiting for SWAT, led to new active shooter protocols. But critics argue we're still failing to address mental health, radicalization, and gun access. The NRA doubled down while gun sales spiked, reflecting a polarized nation grappling with fear and freedom. 26 years later, Columbine remains a raw wound. It was the first school shooting to unfold live on TV, the first of the internet era, where Harris and Klebold's digital footprints, web pages, videos, rants live on, fueling a viral subculture. Social media algorithms amplify this content, profiting off clicks while survivors like Heather Eaglin Martin beg platforms to act. Every April 20th, schools brace for copycat threats, some time to the minute of the original attack. In 2019, a Florida teen's infatuation with Columbine shut down Colorado schools, proving the threat endures. Just last year, a foiled plot in Denver cited Columbine as inspiration, chillingly close to the original site. The scariest truth, Columbine exposed a darkness in human nature we can't unsee. Harris and Klebold weren't monsters from another planet. They were kids, products of a suburban high school who chose to kill. Their story forces us to ask, what pushes someone to that edge? And why do so many still follow their path? The killer's online presence, from their 1990s GeoCities page to modern Reddit threads, keeps their myth alive. A digital virus spreading nihilism. As long as their legend grows, Columbine isn't just history, it's a warning of what's still to come. Columbine wasn't just the first. It became a script, a tragedy that turned into a twisted blueprint. If this case disturbed you, it should. But silence fuels repetition. Like the video to make sure stories like this reach more people. Subscribe to Crime Cipher for weekly deep dives into the crimes and killers shaping our world. Drop your thoughts in the comments. What do you think drives someone to idolize murderers? And how do we stop this cycle from repeating again and again? Until next time, stay alert, stay curious. This is Crime Cipher.